we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of our NECC Week 5 Varsity Overwatch. I'm your host, Diadem. I'm here with my co-host.
AirJ, and we're going to be going in with UND Green versus Valpo Varsity. UND Green is actually 4-0 right now, so this is going to be determining seed for Valpo, especially going into the not playoffs, but going into the rest of the season. So very interesting spot right now.
I mean, taking a quick look at our starting roster today, we got Fusic on tank, Wit and Atlas at the DPS, Kirakuki and CQ9 at the support role, and we're immediately hopping back in, going to Lijiang Tower.
Yep, we're going into Lijiang Tower, spooky season, I guess, this time.
Every time we load into Lijiang Tower, it immediately freezes and it freaks me out. But no, we are back. We've had a long day of production in the booth here, so hopefully gonna go really smoothly for this final game. Finish out with another Valpo W on the day.
The last stream went pretty quickly. So.
Yep, yeah, exactly. No, Valpo right now, esports wise, we are 2-0 on the week. So, or not on the week, but on the day. So hopefully finish out with one more.
Yep, hopefully he's hoping to finish out with one more. We're going with a little bit of a Valpo special. We're going with Rhine actually this time, but we're sticking with the Brig and the Juno going into it. Next going into it, we're also seeing Juno coming out from UND Green, as well as an Ana, which is interesting. Juno and the Juno, I already said that. Venture and Genji and a Doomfist, which is going to be interesting going into it. Valpo choosing a more brawl. But both teams choosing a very brawlish kind of comp with a little bit more poke, though, on UND Green.
Yep, no, and now we're kind of just pushing to the side here, right? Obviously, trying to look for this high ground. You do have Venture in the back, and you have to just dive away there. Valpo doing a really good job at backing up. Genji getting jumped on as well. Mei just trying to kind of stick to this DPS as they push onto this objective. Symmetra with the boost now, still working in the back line. Carrying for a little bit of pressure. You have to be careful as the first one falls. Atlas is going to go down.
Atlas from Valpo is going to go down here, going into it. Valpo's still taking point though. Gonna have to pause them back up. But Venture in the back going down. Fusic just trying to make sure to contest this point, not let them get any extra percentage off. Unfortunately, that is asleep, and Fusic is going to go down, putting Valpo down in this fight, going to 3-4. Not looking good for Valpo's. UND Green takes the point. Kirakuki also getting low, but hopefully able to back off. There goes another, and they're getting staggered like crazy right now. Needing to back it up and just hopefully try and get in a little bit of breathing room to try and retake.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now is at the point where obviously ult timers are starting to come up. You have a little bit more safety, especially with that. As you see Fusic trying to just change the angle, push the Ana off that high ground. Doomfist is going to make sure that he gets pushed back down to point, but you did kind of the job. You spaced out their support a little bit, so now you can work to the back. Really nice interrupt by Doomfist there.
Ray.
Yep, there's the Ray coming down as well. That's a lot of healing. Genji trying to dash to the backside. CQ9's going to take one, takes up two as well, and now you're just pushing to this back. You are going to have 3-for-1 here, so Valpo still at an advantage. Going to pick up the fourth kill.
Gonna be, and just Doom living on a prayer right now, just gonna try and hold point for as much time as possible, but killing up the fifth one. That is a 4K from CQ9.
I was about to say, CQ9 just DPSing out here on Juno, using that kind of movement, especially, that extra mobility that you get to just kind of fly around on that objective, especially when you're trying to counter into that Doomfist. Your positioning is everything, so really, really nice play.
Yep, going into this Doomfist, main thing that the Doom is going to be looking to catch out the Juno on CQ9 on this one. And they're using two ults going into this. Kirakuki going down first, but then we're going in, getting a nice shatter, getting both DPS. And now it's only just two supports and a DPS and the tank. And there's the first one. Nice. And this is going to be Doom to have to back up. So Valpo is going to be taking another win on this team fight.
Yeah, Valpo, really, really nice playing with the picks there, right? Being able to, pushes back, had a really, really nice shot by Atlas, but Fusic just takes up a bit too far. Although the wall is up, Doomfist not going to be able to retreat, but we'll get back. The Symmetra turret's putting in a ton of work as it looks like they're going to go topside. The biotic grenade just taking a lot of health off.
Yeah, and Atlas forced to back up. They're all forced to back up. CQ9 going down, Kirakuki following suit. Can expect Wit to fall as well, only living on 60 HP, but they did take priority. Just gotta wait and try and see, but Fusic gets Fusic is not staggered. I was wrong. Nope, we got Everyone is going to be here, just got to regroup, go into this team fight, and hope nobody goes on first. We're coming up on a rally here for Valpo, but we are looking at about 3 ults from, we're looking at 4 ults from UND Green versus Valpo's, about all 5, honestly. Getting close, so.
Yeah, definitely. So you have a lot of strength in this push now, right? And immediately going to pop it. Atlas going to pop the Mei ult, does get slept, but the rest of the team can follow up the beam as well, finishing off just to make sure you get a little bit of healing in the backside. Fuse's going to be able to trade. That's 2 for 1 now.
Yep.
Valpo with the numbers advantage pushing on to this point. You got 99 on the Shatter as well. If you can look for something, there's not a lot of shields up right now that can block it. Now you're going to look for the corner, gets a nice cancel, almost gets knocked off, has to play careful around this Doomfist, but the snipe!
Tracer. That's going to be a nice stagger for UND Green, but it is a Tracer, so that means that it's not going to be too much of an effect for UND Green. They're going to still be able to go in, but this is probably going to be last team fight going into it. We're looking at a 3 to 2-ish ult ratio, 3-ish to 2-ish ult ratio, but mostly looking at 1 to 2, so there's got to be huge value out of the stagger for us to hopefully look, because these rays have been coming in from UND Green, and they've been pretty fast.
Yep,
and there's one.
The ray immediately. Yeah, you're still sitting on it because obviously you had to blow the Shatter, but there's immediately the wall up from Symmetra. You're going to be able to trade one, but 3 is down. Yeah, all that's left is Atlas on point, looking for just a shot over the corner, not going to be able to find it. All that's left is the Icicle. You're trying to just delay here so you can give your team the best chance to get back onto this point, playing on top of the wall. It is overtime, but 4 of your teammates are going to be here. You're not going to be there, but you're going to have enough time because it's only 90% for them.
Yep, you are going to be going in with the Doomfist, going to make sure like they can touch the point faster. Might get another team fight. They're getting in another team fight. Yep. This is going to be putting our supports in a risky position. Atlas going to be coming back, but he will be there significantly longer. Kirakuki going down though, and CQ9 as well. There's no supports in the backline for Valpo. And that is almost going to be the end of the team fight. Can be still taken down, but it's just Atlas again living on a prayer, and that is probably going to be it with UND Green taking the first fight.
Yeah. No, we saw it right there. Really strong from UND Green. Just a bit of an overstep sometimes out of Valpo, right? Those couple of picks mean just the world, especially when it comes to these really, really tight objectives that we're playing with. But, you know, Lijiang Tower, one of my more favorite maps because it does have it has really varied points, right? So that kind of really, really heavy choke where you're playing in that circular area is not what you're going to see here, right? You're going to have a lot more environmental to the side. You have a way wider push to the left, right? So I want to see how Valpo kind of adjusts to that, especially when it comes to grouping together.
Yep, so we're sticking with the a little bit of a different comp. We're getting rid of the Mei and getting a Venture, so mirroring the Venture. Well, UND Green is actually changing out one of their DPS for an Echo, so hoping to get a little bit. And we're going for the TP strat, not coming from UND Green though, because they don't have it. And Doom is almost low, going to be going out, but there is a huge anti for UND Green.
Yeah, that anti was giant.
Yep, and there's 3 going down, only 2 left. And does Atlas get out? I'm not sure. CQ9 not getting out.
Just hanging around the side, just got clipped a little bit there, not going to be able to find it, and Valpo pushed off this first objective. I mean, that biotic grenade completely shifted it because it was really good on Atlas and Fusic to be able to catch out that Doomfist and just force the shield a little bit earlier, force him to cover himself really early, but then that biotic grenade just hitting 3 in the back, especially with the anti for the side of Valpo, just wasn't able to heal through it.
Yep, we're finally getting back the rest of the team, going into another team fight. We are seeing a little bit of change off of the sim. We are seeing some Reaper coming out, hopefully getting some large amount of damage, but Kirakuki forced to back up a lot. Venture coming in, Fusic going down, unfortunately. This is leaving Valpo in a bad spot without a tank. And they're forced to back up as Kirakuki also goes down. Not much they can do, just gonna try and get as much ult charge as you can and taken out as well. This is just in a rough spot for Valpo. Atlas swapping over to Cassidy, going into it, probably to deal with the Echo, honestly. Needs some sort of hit scan to deal with it.
Yeah, I think also it gives them a little bit of range, right? You're fighting into a Doomfist, especially with Ana not having to really push in as far. You have a lot of people in the backline that can kind of mess you up, but the anti-comboed with that Doomfist is going to be enough to just one-shot him.
Yep, and Atlas is going down really quickly, going in through, but Mirror Strike helps get him
Oh
down.
my goodness!
Huge! Unfortunately, not able to capitalize on it from his team. Just gonna have to sit there and wait for everyone to come back in.
Yeah, that is enough though to push them back off, and there's the beam as well coming out of
That's
CQ9.
gonna be barely living onto a prayer, but he is going to go down. That is unfortunate, and that is going to be pretty much it. There's Kirakuki. Atlas also going down. Wick going down. CQ9, the only one left, goes down as well.
Yep,
Unfortunately, that is a much less tight fight, and I don't know if he's going to touch on. He is not. Oh,
Yep.
Never mind. Just lag.
Yeah, 99%. Not really much you can do. Valpo going down in the first map.
Yep, first map going into it. So we're gonna have to look and see what's going on with Hybrid and Escort going into it. Going to see this nice play from CQ9. I'm guessing it's that 4K. Yep, it is.
We take those. I mean, it's really good setup as well from the team. So bittersweet ending to map 1, but you take what you can.
Yes.
So I mean, a lot from what we saw there with Valpo. Just a couple of change-ups. Gotta give credit to UND. The Doomfist was just tearing it up, right? Doomfist Ana is always just one of those disgusting things where if you can hit any kind of bio grenade, Doomfist has enough kind of merit and ability to dive right on that and follow up with that. So just enabling him to kind of go in is a big part of UND's combo, and it made it really nice there. And it just looks great when you do it, right? So I'm excited to see how Valpo wants to try and counter that.
Yep, we're gonna have to see where they go for hybrid or escort. I'm assuming we'll be taking a little bit of a break because Valpo likes to discuss their choices. So.
Yeah, no, we like to be very thorough with our decisions. So we are going to take a slight break, and we will catch you guys at the start of map 2. are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, to the start of our map 2 of this NECC Week 5 Valpo Varsity Overwatch. And we are moving on to King's Row.
We're heading to Scrim's Row, Valpo's favorite. Honestly, surprised they didn't ban it, but looking in, I'm hoping we could see a Valpo Classic, but I honestly doubt it. I don't think we've really seen the Valpo Classic since last year, so hoping for it to show up at some point, but we'll see. We gotta wait and see what comps we're looking at right now, and we're probably not gonna see a Valpo Classic, but we are seeing Wit on the Oh wait, no, they're not. They're on defense first. Never mind.
Yep.
But we are seeing Wit on the Soldier, Atlas on the Reaper, same comp from the supports, but Orisa for tank, and then we're seeing a Widow from UND Green as well as Venture again and a Zarya. So very interesting. We're also seeing same support comp, so gonna be interesting. Holding up fairly close with the Orisa, not very close, fairly far back with the Orisa, so a little bit more of a poke angle, but with that added ability of being able to go into Brawl. So,
Yeah.
noticing the Widow, so that's good for Valpo. Just going to be able to tell them stop off, and they swap off instantly. We are going into the Tracer from UND Green instead of the Widow. So, we are going to see this. Lots of damage being taken. Kirakuki is getting attacked in the front though. Fusik is honestly being attacked though from all ends, but he is going to put down, and so is Atlas. Wit almost going to have to fall. Wit's other supports are just kind of living on a prayer with Zarya finding them up top. Barely living that, but gonna have to back up entirely after that. And just gonna have to hope to regroup and hope to take the next one.
Yeah, Witten on 11 health there and is going to drop immediately. Atlas is at least going to be able to trade, but the payload's already moving now. We saw Orisa kind of, I like with the comp because she kind of has not only just the brawling potential, but with the spear, with the projectile depletion, it's really hard to move her off spots, which means that she synergizes well with a longer range comp.
Yeah.
But you saw, I mean, UND just walked in their face, right? Hardest part about running a poke comp that's very spread out is that if they group up on the back line instantly, if they walk that, you really can't fall back and cover for them. And we saw that kind of be a really big issue there as the payload is already moving through this first objective.
So we are going to see Zarya is getting incredibly low though, getting a bubble, still being able to save herself out, but Fusik is at 100% charge. And there is a Venture coming in from behind, and Fusik is going down. CQ9 is getting low, so is Atlas, so this is going to be in a tough spot, and UND Green just kind of is getting control of the payload for free right now. Not really able to do much of anything, and just going to have to force to back up. Kirakuki and CQ9 going down as well. Atlas going down as well. Whip barely making it out, but just getting that bubble. And this is probably going to be going back, almost going to be back there. And I do like the Kiriko swap from CQ9. However, I will have to say, I kind of am not feeling the Brig right now. I'm not feeling like the Brig is doing much. So we'll see what's going on, see if this might help counter those nades, honestly, that have been thrown out.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to see how Valpo wants to regroup on this point, right? You run into the issue of, like, do you have to group, but then you group into the Zarya ult and 5 ults for the side of UND, or do you try to split up and run into the issue that you were having before, where if 1 or 2 gets picked, but we're going to see immediate engage right there. The Suzu's going to be hit,
yeah,
but they delayed the Tracer bomb just enough, and that's going to finish it off. 3 of Valpo goes down. All that's left is CQ9 and Wit, but there's not much on point to stop this payload from moving forward.
CQ9 barely able to even try and attempt to hide, just not getting that TP out, and they're going to be forced to go into this 4v5. Not looking too good for Valpo, honestly, right here. We are looking at a few different ults, but we are seeing a rally going down, and we're seeing 2 from Valpo coming down, getting a lot of value, though. Getting that first pick going down, but Fusik also going down as well. There is a second support almost down. But CQ9 is going to have to touch, and that is Valpo down, and UND Green finishing the round off.
Yeah, UND Green just using so much momentum and instantly clearing it out.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to stop these pushes. The Zarya was just so strong in that, but also, I mean, you pair it with a Venture who benefits really well off the Zarya bubble that she's given, right? Like she gives off the bubble and then they dive in, and it's really hard to actually stop them. that kind of comp is just nasty to try and face, and UND is just performing extremely well on it.
Yeah, one of the things that might be good is trying to get a dive comp, trying to get that Ana who's kind of just sitting out in the open in the back, not really getting any like support in the back there. So trying to get a lot of people to jump on the Ana might be good. But we are seeing a Widow coming out. Other four choices though remain to be decided. But I am liking this swap off of the Brig onto an Ana of their own. Gonna see what's gonna happen here, but we're gonna have to try and focus on just running them down, honestly.
Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously you look for an opening pick off the Widow, but like you said, you just kind of have to, gotta get aggressive with the Reaper. You have a lot of displacement with the Sigma, and then you see what happens, right? I think Valpo's having kind of a hard time team fighting, and a lot of their success has come off of getting picks. So I wouldn't mind if they, focused way more on just trying to find a pick in the back line, trying to find a snipe. Does hit the first shot, going to take out a lot of that damage. Still looking, because now you have that pressure, so you can push to this top side.
Unfortunately, there is a Venture hiding in the background, going to be found right there. Wit almost taking lots of damage.
Oh, she might go.
Unfortunately, not being able to yet. Just gonna have to getting a bubble though perfectly as it goes out. Atlas going down instantaneously and just kind of being forced to take this. But we are seeing here waiting a little bit of confusion coming from Valpo. Just gonna be a delay and just doing anything. So going to try and be trying to get this Venture to come out, but just not being able to do anything. Venture escaping with their life.
Yep, yeah. You have to just be careful there, because obviously Widow getting dove in the back. Venture is right on top of her, and she just almost falls. So a pick like that would be huge.
Yes.
But Fusick with another kill right there, following off Wick's pick. And now you have this pressure on objective. You have a sleep in the back. Wit picks off the Venture, and now you have objective, which is what we want to see out of this Valpo team.
So we are seeing a lot more value coming from the Ana. Honestly, bringing out the nades and the sleeps, going to be able to use that. But we are seeing a swap off of Venture onto a Genji, a lot more versatile, leaving the Ana more defenseless, honestly. So that's going to be one of the biggest things that is going to be a problem, is trying to figure out how to defend the Ana, making sure you have enough peel just in the background. So hoping that Wit stays kind of close to the Ana, just going to be able to peel back as necessary.
Definitely. We get a TP up top as well. Looks like Atlas is just trying to rotate around and can jump back right down to point, pull the Zarya barrier out, and they're going to push up. Biotic Grenade is now down for the Ana on the enemy side. So you can play a little bit around this range, but you have to heal up a tiny bit. Genji Reflect goes down. There's a speed boost, and Valpo is looking to make a play. Immediately push in, the Zarya ult comes in. Sigma still has the ult, but that's 3 down.
That is 3 down on the side of Valpo, 4 down, 5. Kirakuki being last to go down, being staggered just separately. This is going to be not very good, forcing them to be staggered, but we are looking at 4 ults from Valpo in exchange for one from Zarya going in, so not too bad. Zarya's is fairly powerful, so just gonna have to look from this. Getting the lift off, unfortunately trading a DPS for support, not ideal, but not amazing either. You don't want that. Trying to get that Ana, get the Ana, but they are letting both of their supports go down in the meantime. So both supports are down, forced to go back, but they are going to be able to group up a lot quicker with Wit coming back, going to be able to come back in. Atlas going in a little more, trying to take a more aggressive thing. And support's coming back, able to take things back as well. And that's coming back with just one ult, going in for the one with Nano.
Yep, definitely. Now you're pushing in, right? Atlas still has Death Blossom here. You have to be careful about that Genji Reflect, obviously, but now that Genji Reflect is down, you have to wait for that Zarya bubble, but you don't die here. 20 health left. Yep. Just have to push back to this point. Wit's going to be able to trade 1, but 4 fall down for the side of Valpo. All that's left is Wit back at the spawn. Just sitting on the ult right now. Just going to have to wait till next push.
Just gonna have to sit on next push and just gonna have to sit there, still trading back and forth, 3 ults for just 1 ult for 1, just typically what's happening. But Valpo didn't trade an ult that time. They just took it as a lost fight and just said that's it. Trying to get that, trying to find anything potentially, but just nothing really going through. Going to try and find anything that they can.
Yeah,
just
I
looking
mean,
in a rough spot.
if you're Valpo right now, right, you're not really worried about the time limit anymore because you're scrapping for any objective that you can. You need 3, right? No matter how you get
Yeah.
it. As there's the Zarya ult right
And
there as
there
well.
is
The double dash is gonna take 1. New Jeans
that is
picks up the
3,
third.
and there.
All 5 members of New Jeans. I think it's 5. All members of New Jeans pick up a kill there. And that's a 4K for Genji.
That is a 4K for Genji on UND Green's side. Supports coming in last yet again. Just being the first one, last one's taken down out of the fight. But it's just trying to find these off angles, trying to find ways to trying to knock one down. The main thing Valpo needs right now is just a pick. Anytime they can get a pick, they've been able to get a lot more success. So trying to go out for that Juno, getting a fair amount, going on for the Juno, getting at least 1 pick, getting New Jeans, trying to get something. Genji is unfortunately using Reflect, but he is 1, so forced to back up. We are seeing another one just trying to get as much backup as possible and trying to get things. Next, another support going down. There's their other support finally able to get in somewhere, do something, and that is only with 2 ults. But UND Green hasn't actually used any ults this fight, still holding on to that Venture and Genji ult like the plague. So
Yep. And
gonna have
Atlas is
to.
now almost got spotted, or almost
He
didn't
got
get spotted.
spotted. Yeah.
Yeah, unlucky.
Unlucky. Probably would have probably spayed a little bit closer, but they do know that Blossom is going, and they're going to be looking for it badly. It's going to be an interesting spot. Probably trying to look for a grab too here. Might be better to try and look for a grab while trying to break out of Blossom. But that
There's
is
a
going to be a
Bastion.
Nano Blade.
Yep, there's Nano Blade. You're gonna have to look to just trade something in the backside. You're gonna be able to pull 1. The blade goes out. That's 2 falling out for the side of Valpo.
Yeah.
Ween gets the dash. That's 3. That's 4. And all that's left is Atlas on point, looking to trade 1. Will be able to pick up the Genji. Gets the Wraith mode. Gonna have to just walk out. But I don't see Atlas surviving for long here. The TP hitting around the corner. Will
Barely
just get out
getting
barely.
out.
You are gonna be up a little bit quicker, but obviously, it doesn't mean too much in the world here.
Doesn't mean too much in the world. They're switching to a Widow, though. Going to be interesting. Switching off of the Genji, going for a Widow, trying to protect for just to make sure, look at these things. And we are seeing the Zarya very separated from their team, so going to be looking for different things. Going to try and make things. Going to use another Ray. Going to try and get as much value. Getting the other Juno out, but not before they get down the Ray. This is going a good
Nice
thing,
shot,
but
Wit.
We are seeing at least one of Valpo's supports down in the background. CQ9 forced to hang on to a prayer, but that Venture is going for blood, taking down Wit, and Fusic and CQ9 gonna have to try and hold on, and just not being able to. Fusic going down, CQ9 only able to escape.
Yeah, you saw it, Venture. They just held their ult to that very last second, right? Being able to pop to that back line, trade off a couple of kills there, kill kind of Valpo's momentum, and now they're going to have to just force something back here. You only have a minute left. They swapped off the Genji to that Widowmaker, go for a couple more picks, because if you can just force a 4v5, 3v5 on any of these objective pushes with this minute left, it means the world. So now Valpo has to play in a really uncomfortable spot. Atlas looking to try and TP in the back, not going to be able to find anything. Zarya bubble's still up, just have to play around this Sigma shield, but Valpo going to have to just correlate together and get a push in this last 30 seconds.
The main goal right here is just going to be grouping up, but Wit goes down as well, so this is guaranteed 4v5 going into it. Just not being able to really do anything. The Widow's just getting too much value, getting able to take on these different fights, and just being able to do too much. Going in, Atlas going down, Fusic going down, supports left alive yet again, but they're going in. CQ9 only escaping, but that is 8 seconds left on the clock, and they definitely won't touch going into it unless there's some sort of miracle. Doom swap to Doom to try and touch, but that's it for game 2.
Yep, and showing a lot more promise there on the offense, but UND Green is going to take map 2 as well. They're going to push their lead to 2-0 this series right now. And Wayne finishing off, I think this is the
Fourth.
off the Zarya. Yes.
No.
Oh no, it's
not.
the Nano Blade. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, understandable.
Yeah, still just putting in a ton of work in this backline as well. The dash, I mean, clean gameplay. That's what you expect from a Genji, right? And Valpo still still having a hard time and struggling a little bit with dealing with those dive comps, right?
Yep.
We even saw it on the offensive side. they still ran the Genji, they still ran the Venture. Both of them were just diving back to that line. Although the honor swap was really nice, I do like that kind of added depth to the support role that we got, especially in those couple of pushes with the sleep on Venture and just the nano, excuse me, not the nano, but the biotic grenade. But then they just adapt to it and kind of swap out.
Yeah, just a lot of adaptation from UND Green's part, where anytime Valpo does something successful, just UND Green finds a way to counter to it immediately, and just quicker reaction, quicker change.
Yep. So we are going to take a slight break again, and we will catch you guys at the start of map 3 of the series. And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of our map 3 of this NECC Week 5 Varsity Overwatch. I'm Miros Diadem. I'm here with my co-host.
RJ, and we're back going into our push map for the day. Going into it, we're going into Esperanza, also known as Esprinky by our Overwatch teams. So going to see some interesting, but this is a map that is a little more catered to Brawl, but does have some poke elements to it. So we're going to be interested to see kind of how it is, because there are some long sight lines in here. So we're gonna have to just wait, see what they pick out and choose. But right now, UND Green is going in with a lot of just momentum going into this, so Valpo's gonna have to push back with some new momentum of their own.
Yeah, definitely. A big characteristic of a lot of these push maps, especially in Overwatch, is like you said, those really weird lines of sight, right? On all the push maps in general, you can find you can find varied elevation. You can find different angles to take at, but Esperanza is no different, right? So we can have to see how Valpo wants to kind of attack this objective, especially with the comp that they're running. It looks like, they were having issues with the dive. Hey, we will dive too. It bringing me back to Overwatch 1 days. This Winston Genji Tracer.
Both groups going for a dive, and probably Valpo's main goal is probably just to take out that Ana, because the Ana's been a very big Wake opening, just trying to find it and trying to go in. Wit with the Tracer, Atlas on Genji, both very good, but there's going to try and go for their dive too, but that is going to be on the supports, and you don't want those. Doom getting out, living on a prayer though, kind of, but still going Axe, trying to get back as much as you can. Cassidy almost going.
Yeah, be careful, there's a sleep in the back. Fusic is in a little bit of trouble there. He is hindered, he's going to have to back up.
Forced to back up, but still able to get a little bit. Bot is open now, but that is the first down for Valpo, and both DPS fall. DPS trying to go in, Tank trying to get in, trying to take down that Ana, but it's no match. Fusic following, CQ9 trying to just focus on getting out. Probably not going to, just because of the Doom's long ability to just reach and get their sass. Main thing late, and CQ9 staggered.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... Doomfist is so sticky in these fights. It's really, really hard to get Doomfist off these backlines. He just kind of sits on you, and it's really, really tough to try and make a move off of it. But we're seeing Doomfist jump up a little bit. You kind of have to be careful because you don't have a lot of sustained damage outside of this Tracer or these tanks when they dive in. So unless you get those picks in the backline, the comp is a little bit rough. So now... Still getting this Tracer 1v1 going. You have the recall, so you recall yourself. I'm going to just keep the cam on him for a little bit while they are 1v1, and right as I turn it away, he will fall. Atlas goes down here. You are fighting at a 4v5 in this objective. You're going to try to just dive in this back.
But that is a Juno on Valpo's side. CQ9 going down, but unfortunately getting hindered. Atlas going down, and that is 3 down, 4 down. Fusic, last one alive, just barely. And there goes Fusic as well. Yep. That is a... rough fight for Valpo going into it. We are seeing a bit more ults coming up. We are looking at 5 different ults, and Doom apparently used his at some point. So UND Green is looking at 4, while Valpo's looking at 5. So Valpo is in the favor of the Alt Economy. But we are still looking in a risky position, trying to get these bright things, just trying to. But they are getting a lot of just value right now. Trying to get stuff. We're hearing a Deadeye Noon coming out and a Ray from the opposing team. And there's 2, but we are seeing a Ray. And then we're also seeing a Pulse Bomb. Both teams pulling out the Pulse Bomb and their second DPS ult. Going in, getting a fair amount of thing. Still having their support ult, but UND Green doesn't have their tank ult. Yeah. So both trading 3, and Valpo at least somewhat winning this fight going into it.
Yep, you're going to get a little bit of a push here, but now is your time to kind of take this objective. Any pick here would be wonderful as you find the pick on Ana. Doomfist going to be forced back as well, but Cassidy's in a really bad spot. You might be able to shred him out there as well, but the Jade just jumped in. You're going to have to pop the ult. Yep. Just try to shred out away from that healing. That healing's being a little bit too strong. Won't be able to finish it off, but Atlas is right there to take that kill. And now he gets the dash reset. Looking on the corner, Doomfist still extremely low. Fusic going to look for that kill. Push him back to the corner. And Valpo, for the first time this match, has had control over this point.
So we have CQ9 probably sitting on bot. Same thing with Kirakuki. Both of them sitting on bot, trying to find these different things. Doom trying to find a different way to go in, but Doom is getting very low, going at half, going after, trying to go in, but Juno is going to be taken down. Meteor Strike coming out from the Doom, but there is nothing really going on. Valpo does have 2 things. Fusic going down, but there is 2 down. Both their supports are down on UND Green's side. Just gonna have to try and regroup here. Still pushing bot though. Going to potentially get close spawn. Unfortunately, it won't be for Fusic, but still gonna get something. Atlas going down one more time. Going into the back, trying to help keep the Air One alive. Wit also going down. Unfortunately, going to be in a rough spot. Going to have to TP to Fusic, and that is their first 1 fight, but UND Green fights back. And that is unfortunately not even close spawn. Almost less than a few meters off, so not in a good spot. Leaving Fusic also in a bad spot, just not going to be able to do much going into it. Getting stunned, probably going to, getting a nice Suzu though, going to be able to save alive. Just going to have to try and get back in.
Yeah, they're gonna have to regroup on this point now, right? You're throwing Wit on this high ground, obviously swapped off the Tracer. Gonna be able to contest a little bit of that backline, but a really nice hinder and shot right there from Wit, but Doomfist is gonna return it immediately. They are hopping on point, and it looks like the DPS are just a little bit too far behind right now trying to dive this backline. This objective is going to get shoved up a little bit. Doomfist is immediately there, gonna get the dash out, trying to just follow it off. Juno trying to just stay in the face of Atlas right now. They're pushing to this backline. Fusix is gonna be able to take one. Cassidy's gonna be the second to fall. They're looking for the third one. Doomfist gonna have to just jump out, but you can stick to him with the Winston jump. Atlas finishing off the third, and UND Green stepped up a little bit too far there, and Valpo now takes control of the bot.
Honestly, the Cassidy swap was able to do a fair amount with that thing, but now we're back on Tracer yet again, so not sure what's going on there, but we are going to see this. Valpo going to be able to take back, sticking CQ9 on the bot, and just going to try and sit there and try and push as much as we can, taking a Tracer 1v1, hoping to try and get as much as you can, try and get the bot back and get close spawn. Getting hindered though, but that is the use of hinder nade. Unfortunately, get nice.
And we're seeing the ult come out from Atlas as well, being able to shred. Does get the boost from CQ9. Just trying to look for something, but not going to be able to find anything, but Fusik finishes it off. They are going to leave the bot open off of that ult, so you are getting that control back, but here comes High Noon out of the side of UND, and it's going to find the back of Atlas. Atlas falls down. Fusik's still alive, gonna have to just jump to this backside. There's the beam coming out of UND Green, but now they're just shredding this back. There's the pulse bomb, not gonna be able to find anything. Really nice barrier from Fusik. But now, walking to this back, bot has been taken control by UND Green. You have pulse bomb ready. You're still looking for something. Doomfist gonna jump in the air, just gonna have to back up, not gonna really have any supports, but just follow him up there. Gonna get the healing. Force back a teensy bit further, but if we can just stay alive right here, grab this health pack, it's going to be really big for their pressure with this bot moving through choke point. As there go the gates, there go the opening, Atlas dashes in, they're going to be running away. The Juno on the side of UND stuck in a really rough spot, but Atlas getting followed back up on.
Back in,
nice dash.
We are going to cap point here, going into this, getting our close spawn going in, but there goes CQ9, there goes Wit, Atlas. We are seeing a different swap too, I'd like to point out. There's a Brig now on UND Green's side instead of the Ana, so we are seeing a different Brig, the support comp that Valpo ran at the beginning coming out for UND Green. But that didn't work for Valpo, so I'm interested to see if UND Green thinks they can pull it off better or just overall just do it well. Not sure.
I like it here because obviously into the Genji it's a lot of interrupts. It makes it Genji really, really hard to just try and get into back because Brig can just jump immediately right there, especially just peeling for supports, right? One of her best things that she can do. So you're going to get this dive on the top side. There's Brig hovering that Cassidy right there, making sure Atlas can't stick to it, and immediately hindered on point and goes down. Doomfist going to pick up that kill. Fusik still sitting around the bubble on this top side with Kirakuki. Looking for a jump over the side. We'll be able to jump. Kirakuki's just going to dash right back to it, but still in a little bit of a rough spot here. There's another jump, just going to bounce right back out.
Trying to flank to the back, just not going to work. Not going to get much out of it. Going to have to back up. Going in.
Wit was pushing the objective almost that whole time. At least trying to just stop it. But there's the high noon coming out, not going to be able to find anything, but that will be a pick on Kirakuki, and they're going to shove him as well. The beam comes out, Ween picks up two. There's a third falling down for Valpo. Valpo now at a 2v5 here, sitting on this objective. You have Winston up, but Winston falls down as well. All that's left is Kirakuki and CQ9 as they sprint onto this final point. This is going to be it for the series if they can't hold this here. You have beam coming up, and our computer's dying as well. Moving in, there comes the push from Wit. They're going to be able to hold this. I think they just have to wait out the beam. Right, UND, no reason to fight in this beam, at least force it out, just let them play a little bit back more. Still trying to shove around this corner, 90% left.
Atlas going down, but there's
the shove, that's 3 down.
That is 3 down, going in, only 1 support and 1 tank, but there goes CQ9, last one. Diva's still barely alive, Fusik living on a prayer, just kind of sitting around, gotta try and get his mech back, but doesn't get it back, trying to get this, but
just out of reach.
Just gonna be out of reach, and that is 3 down, but still having a touch, getting that Tracer, still having that Tracer to touch, and just trying to hold on for dear life, but it's not enough, and that is the end of Game 3 going in UND Green's favor.
Yeah, that's going to be game 3, and that is also the series for UND Green. Being 4-0, now 5-0, for very good reason, right? We saw just extremely, extremely strong play. The comp was working really, really well, their dive especially, and we're seeing just these team fights being able to bait out these plays, know their positioning, dive that back line becomes very, very strong. And you got to give it to them. Just really, really strong play. But that will be it for us here in the booth. Any final words about this series?
Nope. Just make sure to tune in for the Smash Bros. Game and League game and Overwatch game tomorrow.
Yep,
So we got packed day tomorrow and gonna be
yep,
a lot of fun.
definitely. No, Henry and I obviously were joking about it early on this stream, but that's 3 down. We got 3 more to go. So hopefully, thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the likes, follows, supports, and shares. We appreciate you guys. I was your host, Diadem. I'm here with my co-host,
Era J, and
and
we'll
we will
see you
catch you guys next time.
next time.